Hi, I'm here today with this Keywing lens set for your phone, which is pretty cool. You can use this with any phone, well, almost any phone, I think, with not too large lenses that are in the middle, so the lenses need to be a little bit on the side. Now you get 3 of these, a macro lens, and you can do a lot with this. So you can attach this lens right here to the clip. So that's pretty cool, just with a little screw wire. And then you get a lens cap for each of these lenses. So this is the macro lens. So let's first try that on so you can see the difference what happens with the phone's lens. Let me try and put that on correctly. So just put that over your normal phone lens. And now you have a very narrow shot here with a macro, which is pretty cool. And you can still use your main lens while you're using this. So right now I'm using this on the Samsung S25. And with each lens you get a little lens cap that you can take off. So let's do that. And then also the lens cap for the main lens. And you can do that like that. This is the 120 degrees wide angle. So let's unscrew this first one, the macro one. And then put on the wide angle, just like so. Now let's attach this. Okay, so right now we have the wide angle attached to it. As you can see, I have a lot more room here on the side than when I take it off. And still with my main camera. So as you can see, a lot less room there on the side. Putting it back on. And a lot more room on the side. So that's pretty cool here. And then finally I have the fisheye. So let's unscrew this. So as you can see, it's very easy to do. You can just do that in an instant. And then here the slightly thicker fisheye lens. Let's remove that cap. And then take this one off. And then we should get the fisheye one. So we can just screw that on as well. There we go. And let's put that one on here on the main 100 megapixel camera. Now, whoa, that's a very cool effect, like a fisheye effect that you can see through the lens. So you can get some really cool shots with this, trying that out. As you can see, so a very narrow view here. Or a very wide view, but from a very narrow point. So you can get some cool shots with this. So let's remove that again. So all in all, with this entire package, I think it's a really cool deal here by Keywing, and they have a lot of cool filters for your phone and for cameras. So it's really a brand that's recognized in the film world. And then you have like a little bag here that you can put them in. So I really recommend. I am here with this set of Neewer filters for your phone, and it's a complete set, so really cool. You have this one main thing here that you can easily attach to your phone. So it works with most phones, but the cameras should be on the outside of the frame, not in the middle, because this thing can't reach all the way over to the middle. But other than that, it should fit most phones. And then you get these cool bags with all the filters in it. So it's a complete set by Neewer here that you can use. So let's put a few of these filters on. So it's very easy to use. The first that you have is a few color filters. So you have red and blue. So you get a little bit of those gradients in there. So let's try that out. So this is the red one, and you can easily screw that on to the main plate here. Just put that in and screw that on. So right now I have the red filter on there, and then I can attach this to the phone. It just gets on top of all of your cameras, and then you can easily attach it a little bit so you can see that. Now this really is red in there. So let's try another one. This is the blue one for a little bit of blue hue, and they call these filters gradient filters because they are gradients. So let's put this one on. So now that is attached to the phone. You can open that up and see where the gradient is exactly. So all the way blue, a little bit over there, and change how that setting is. So it's very versatile. Let's remove that for a second and then put on the yellow one. Okay, just screw that in, and then you can change the settings just a little bit to where you want the gradient. So that's pretty cool as well. And then lastly, we have an orange one, which I really like. So let's put that on. So next to these color gradients, you also have a couple of other filters. So an ND filter, which is like sunglasses. It's something that's often used. You see that gradient there. So let's change to the more common camera filters. So you get the second bag here with a few of those common filters. This is an ND filter, which is basically like sunglasses for your phone. So this is great if you're shooting outside, any type of video. As you can already see, there's a lot darker here. So you can remove some of that sunlight. This is something I use outside a lot, almost every time I shoot. So that's pretty cool. This is a CPL filter, which is basically like something to remove the glare from surfaces. So you can focus more on the subject at hand. Okay, so this is the CPL filter. So that's pretty cool as well. A little bit less glare, as you can see right there. So let's remove that, and that's back to normal. And then one fun filter, which is a star filter, which is pretty cool. You can get some cool bokeh and star effects with it, depending on how you turn it. So this is just a fun little effect you can get some cool shots with. So you can see there's a star in there. And you can just turn it a little where you want the effect to be. So now it can have like a glare from those little lights on top and back to the side. So I think that's pretty cool as well. So let's take this off again. So it's a really cool way to spice up your photography or your videography with your phone. You don't need any fancy cameras for this. You can just use your phone because you can get the lenses as well. So cool set from Neewer, and I really recommend.